Hi, I'm John. This is my show, An American Scheme, where I'm proving that Diana Ross is Michael Jackson's actual mother. So I made a video last night talking about this album cover, this artwork stuff, and that there was an alteration from the original painting and then how the artwork actually appeared on the album. There was a alteration that occurred, and it was directly to Diana Ross, okay? So I had found another one too, and it's also Diana Ross again. And there's some other people, but it's directly to the Diana Ross thing, and so it's just a little weird. But so I made this video last night, and so look at you gotta understand who I am, like what I'm doing. First of all, it's like carrying the Michael Jackson information. I've got this vast amount of information, and it's jumbled up. And I have to, like, there's so much of it in there that it confuses me now. And I'm like lost in time and space, you know? And I have to remember, like, okay, where am I at? And like, what time frame is this? And, well, you know, there's so much stuff there that it's confusing. It's hard to keep everything accurate and stuff, right? So the video I made last night, it was one of these type of videos that I had a piece of information that I wanted to work on, okay? But if I don't make a video on it, then what happens is, then I end up not working on that. I ended up not doing further investigations. And so what happened was I didn't want to do the video because I knew that I didn't do the proper investigation. And I knew that I was going to have mistakes. Probably there's going to be some mistakes and probably some really bad ones, which when I started making the video, I had started doing it like twice. I had made it and turned it off and made it and turned it off because what I was doing when I was saying this is the album for Dangerous. I was saying it was related to Dangerous. But I knew that I did not know exactly what it was from, right? So I had started, but it was coming back. Then on the third one, it's like, okay, let me just do this. And it's like, I have to say something there because I'm not sure what it is at that time. Like I said, I'm lost in time and space, and I can't always bring these thoughts back into my head and stuff of what it is. And it's like, okay, like this picture and stuff, I know totally that, like Pearl Jr. Okay, Pearl Jr. uses this just to show you that I know this picture. And I know what it's from, but I couldn't, it didn't click, okay? Like, so Pearl Jr. uses this photograph all the time because it says alive on Michael's lip there, right? Just to show you that I know about this, you know. And I even heard Pearl Jr., she was doing an interview on the radio. And the radio DJ asked her, he said, I heard that you think that Michael Jackson's alive. And she's like, yeah. And he says, okay, well, what kind of evidence do you got? And then she says, on his album cover, Michael, on his lip, it says alive. And the dude just laughed at her like, that's your evidence? That's not evidence. That's just something. It's just something. And I would assume, like, for that to say alive, it's like, okay, well, I watched the video of the guy who painted this. Now, I watched the whole video, the guy who painted it, and he actually called this painting as actually called the King of Pop. Okay? So, for the King of Pop, for him to be alive, it's like, well, yeah, the King of Pop will live forever. You know? Michael Jackson will die, but the King of Pop will live forever. So, to put alive on that totally, you know, relates to that. I mean, it's just something that can be easily relatable. It doesn't have to mean, oh, I'm gonna fake my dad and I'm actually really alive. I mean, that's a stretch to say that word relates to him faking his death. Now, if you had better evidence, if you had real evidence proving that he had faked his death, which they don't, because I can debunk. This is how easy it is for me to debunk Pearl Jr. There's a recording called the Michael Jackson slurred speech recording, and so I've never heard anybody. I've heard all the doctors in the trial. I've heard Michael Jackson's friends, the Randy Borelli. Everybody says that recording is real and it's genuine and authentic. Okay, so Pearl Jr. that recording does not fit the narrative of the story that she's telling. So she says it's fake. That's just like that. Oh, well, that story doesn't fit my narrative. It's fake. But actually, that story, that recording totally fits my narrative, though. It totally fits my narrative. I mean, not only does it's massive. I mean, it massively aligns with the story of what I'm telling, you know? So anyways and stuff. So, but the thing was, I had to be willing to make the video last night and be willing to make mistakes so that I could further do investigation into this video. That's kind of like things that I have to do and stuff, right? So, let me just show you a couple little things. So I had done some investigation and it linked up other things and whatever. So, and this is how things like, one of the things too is like, you've seen the movie National Treasure. And when he says, Edison failed like 1,000 times when he was making the light bulb. And he says, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I learned 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb. You know, there's always a process of discovery, and you're going to learn things. You know, you're not making mistakes, you're learning other things, and that's the way it goes. So within me telling the Michael Jackson story, it's not, I'm not afraid to make mistakes and look stupid, because I know that in the process of doing that, it's going to lead to the better development and the understanding. So when I get to the real answer, I'm going to have the evidence and the understanding, because I've went through this experience. I'm going to have a better understanding of all of it to explain it. And it's probably what's it's like. I was going to say, yeah, I've made mistakes in my Michael Jackson story, but it's like I'm not making mistakes. I'm just finding 1,000 ways of which my story was not to be told. You know, and so I'm trying to develop the proper way, but it's hard because you're dealing with these other people's life and all this stuff. It's tricky. It's really, really hard. Okay, so this painting, let me show you the couple little things. Now, this is the edited version here. This is the edited version. So let me show you. See, and this is the thing is, when I was trying to look it up last night, like I said, I was trying to look it up, but I kept searching for Dangerous album art, you know? I was searching for, and it's like, well, I just don't have the time. I'm so fucking busy. My mind is so fucked up and twisted up, and like the stuff that I'm dealing with and the reality of dealing with my dad and stuff, and like, just like right now. And see, when I'm making videos, he's like, okay, this is like the daytime, but my dad went into this new stage where he just makes noises. Because he's OCD. He's got Alzheimer's, but he's also got OCD. It's a fucked up combination of diseases and shit, right? So he's always humming and making noises, and there's all this fucking shit. And so it's gotten real severe lately and stuff, and so it's so severe that I have to turn the radio on. I have to turn the radio on to mumble out his fucking voice, or else it literally drives me crazy. I'm being tortured and shit. It's horrible. And shit's just fucking crazy. And you can't tell him, stop. He just gets louder and shit. So the only way I saw, like, right now there's no music going and stuff, but see, I have the laundry. I just got him cleaned up. This morning I already had to feed him. I have to get him cleaned up. I have to get all his bedding and all his clothes, and I have to put him in the laundry. I have to get everything cleaned up. So right now I'm doing some laundry. And so, like I said, there's all kinds of, I have to worry about the laundry. It's like I've got it loaded heavy right now and stuff, and I don't have one of those real fancy washing machines. I have a top loader washing machines, and if it gets off balanced, it'll start going boom, 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 like that, right? So it's like, even though I'm doing laundry, I'm making the video, I'm taking the chance that I might be making this video. Next thing you know, we might start hearing boom, 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 boom. I'm like, oh, God damn it, there's the laundry. And then maybe I'd fuck the video up. And that's what I'm just saying. I'm dealing with all this fucking shit, and there's like, I have all these things I'm trying to think, and then I'm trying to still focus and try and relate the Michael Jackson story, and it's just fucking madness. It's madness and shit, right? And so last night when I was trying to do it, my mind's going is all the crazy, because yesterday was Sunday too, so I was dealing with the football game. So not only am I dealing with my dad's stuff, I'm dealing with the football games and stuff, and so it was crazy and shit. So anyways, so it's the morning, I got a little bit more energy, but I don't have much time, so I'm trying to get through this as fast as I can and shit, right? So, okay, so this is the original artwork. So what I was showing was that over here, okay, you can see there's Smokey, Berry Gordy, and Diana, but the Diana photo doesn't look too good. And you can't clearly, like, it's not super obvious that's Diana. And then there's other people, they edited them out. Like, if you see Berry Gordy there, if you look over to the right of Berry Gordy, you can see Stevie Wonder over there, right? And then it looks like down there is another guy with glasses. I mean, you see the glasses, you think Stevie Wonder, but I'm not sure who that is. That could be somebody else. And so, like I'm saying, I'm not sure exactly. It was actually a little bit confusing in this. And but so then I went and if you go over here, okay, right here. Okay, so see Michael with the Dangerous. See, that's what I'm saying. The stuff, the Dangerous was in this. That's why it was conveying the Dangerous thing. When you start seeing it, it just looks like Dangerous, right? But so look right to the right of Michael. There's Diana Ross. Okay, you see her face there? There's Diana in there. Okay, so this is the original one. Okay, this is the original one, and then this is the edited one. Okay, did you see how right there I just clicked on it and Diana Ross disappeared? And some other people disappeared. There's some editing done, but the editing is done to the Diana Ross image. You know, so the way it ended up, and then over here, when you go over here, they edited it out. See, like, there's the picture down there that the other guy had the glasses is gone. The picture of Diana is different. There's a picture like over there where Stevie Wonder was at. They edited him out over there to make it look like this, you know? So this is the edited one that ended up in the actual album. So there was an edit job, and I was talking about, it was weird because that actual photo that they used, and I was showing this here. Let me show you. I've got a bunch of stuff here, so it's like I can mess up when I click over. So I was showing that the photo that they edited in was the same photo that was used in the double platinum movie on this magazine. And so now I wanted to show you one other thing really quick right here. Okay, so now, look at this magazine. So one of the things was, I was thinking that painting was done before, because I was thinking it was coming out around the time of Dangerous, okay? So this is like the things, but I was wrong. That painting came out around the time of This Is It. Okay, so this photo came out before the painting was done. So that was like one of the things I was backwards on. I was confused about. But so this thing, I wanted to show you this part here. This is in double platinum. So now look at this picture. There's Diana Ross, and it says "Once Abandoned Baby Back." On the left side, that's her kid in the movie. It's Brandy, who's playing her child that she wants back. But so her child, and look at the name above the child, King. Once Abandoned Baby Back, there's the child. Above the child's name is the name King. Okay, so Michael is clearly the king. He's the king of pop. He's the king. I mean, it's like, she wants Abandoned Baby Back. There's her baby with the name above it, King. Because her name in this thing is Olivia King. She's the mother of the king. The King Michael. I mean, this is what they did. And then, like I said, that photograph, that's the one that they put in. But, so anyways, let me show you the other stuff now. Okay, so, there's one person out, or there's a few people that send me things, so this is one of those things where I could get confused, too, about who actually, I think it's the guy, Hooded Mullet. Hooded Mullet just sent me another thing about The Wiz. I'm going to get to that too. But I think he sent me this one too. But if it wasn't him, I'm sorry about not... That's what I'm saying. Some of the things I have to put them away. When I go back to it, it's hard to find exactly. I think it was the Hooded Mullet though. He's been sending... People will send me things, you know? And then I can't always use them. I don't know how to use it. See, this is one of the things. Now, I think it was the Hooded Mullet sent me this, right? This video. And I knew it was cool. And this is like one of those things that I tell you. It's like I've got things. I just don't know how to relate them or make an entire video about it. I'm not sure. But what happened was, the thing that happened last night then relates to this. It forced me to look at something else, which then opened up the door to explaining this, another part of it, okay? So here, let me show you this. This is a recording of Michael Jackson. Somebody's asked, it's an interview type of thing. So just listen to this real quick. This is Michael Jackson. Listen.
That was at Motown. And I'll never forget that little apple box I stood on because I couldn't reach the microphone. And my name was written on it. And it's sitting at Diana Ross's house now. She has all my little doodling papers I would draw and write.
Okay. See there, they've got that picture there of Diana with her feet up on that little apple box that says Michael. And so Michael said that when he was recording Ben at Motown, he had to stand on this little apple box, right? Because he was a little too short or whatever, right? So Michael said that apple box now resides in Diana Ross's house. And not only does that reside in Diana Ross's house, all of his little drawings and doodles and stuff also resides in Diana Ross's house. Now, if Michael Jackson, Diana Ross, you got to understand that if Diana Ross is not Michael Jackson's mother, you know, she's just become aware of this child within the past year, basically, right? And she's only had a few encounters with him. It's not like they've built up this great friendship. It's not like they've been out touring on the road together. None of that's happening. We're talking about Michael in his first time when he's like recording Ben and stuff, in the very beginnings of the Motown stuff, in the Jackson 5. It's not like they've developed this great friendship, okay? But Diana recognized the importance of that box. Now, if Diana recognized the importance of that box, why wouldn't she have given it to Catherine? Why wouldn't she have said to the Jackson family? Because there would be two reasons. She would either collect it as a whatever for Motown, is she collecting it as a collectible thing for a Motown moment? You're telling me that Diana Ross recognized that Michael standing on that box, the importance of that box as an integral moment of the Motown history? Because that's the only reason why she would have that box, right? Okay, now, so you're saying, so did she do it for Motown? Or if she recognized the importance of Michael's career and then that was a cool little thing, why wouldn't she have given it to Catherine? Why wouldn't she have said, hey, like, being who she is, if she wants to be cool, she's on the recording studio, she sees that the box is there, she could have taken that box and given it to Catherine. That would have been cool as fuck. She would have said, here, this belongs to you. You need to keep this because this is part of your family history. Okay, so now, is she collecting it for a Motown history? Or is she collecting it for a Jackson's history? Okay, which, if she was doing it for the Jacksons, she should have given it to Catherine. She should not hold it. And then Diana Ross, think about how glamorous it is that she is. You're going to tell me the thing that she wants to collect is a little apple crate made out of wood? That she recognized the importance of that? But now, let's take it into the context that, like I said, that Diana gave Michael away as a child. Michael has returned to her as this singer, and now he's going to be recording with Motown. And Diana's the mother watching that go on. Don't you think that Diana, as that long-lost mother, would want any collectible of Michael? She's like, anything he stood on, that she's like, can you see it? Can you understand that Diana, being the mother with the abandoned child and the child coming back, that she wants anything anything that kid touches, she wants. That was the kid that she lost. She's trying to regain that relationship with her child, all the time that she had lost. And that stuff, it's like, that's the kind of thing that she would be like, grab it up. I'm taking it to my house. Okay, just like in all the paintings. Then Michael was living in her house at that time, and Diana was specifically, like Michael says in the book Moonwalk, says Diana would take him out alone. So again, is Diana trying to build up the Jackson family thing? Yeah, I hate when freaking I got a comment came across or whatever. But so is Diana trying to build up the Jackson family stuff? If she's trying to build up the Jackson family, then when she would go out with Michael, she would always take at least one of the other Jacksons with her. If she was trying to build a more relationship with Michael and make sure that he was getting some training, but she would also want the family, the Jackson family, to be involved in that. She would want to make sure that she doesn't want to isolate Michael away from the Jackson family. So anytime she would not want to build this personal relationship with Michael at such a young age away from the Jackson family. There's no reason for her to do that. There's no reason, but it happened. Michael moved into her house. Some of the Jacksons moved into her house. They're living with Diana right in the very beginning of this time. Diana's collecting anything that Michael touches. She collects the apple crate and stuff, right? Then Diana starts taking Michael out and training him how to be an artist and teaching him with like who the artists like Michelangelo, like stuff like that, and they're doing paintings and drawings. Okay, so Diana then, she kept all of that stuff. That's what Michael just said. Michael said Diana's got the apple crate. She's got all of the little doodles and drawings. It was about Diana and Michael's relationship. It had nothing to do with Diana and the Jacksons. It's not there. It's not there. That's not the real story, and you can see it when you look at the real evidence and the chain of events. You can see that this does not align properly with the story that we know. This aligns properly with the story of what I'm telling. Now, this is what I'm saying about making the mistake last night, is that I had to go back and investigate more. I had to go watch the original video with Jackie Jackson, and I had to watch it to see what are they actually talking about. I had to go find more. And so when I watch it, watch this part.
And there's that little apple box that Michael stood on. He was too short to reach the microphone. Yeah.
Okay, so the apple box now is so important because the guy painting this picture would not have known the significance of the importance of that apple box. It's probably not a piece of history that you come across that's so significant part of Michael Jackson's story that you would put it into this painting. So Michael had to tell him about that. So what happened is this guy says that Michael was talking when Michael told him, because he says, Michael told me he wanted a big painting. So Michael actually had conversations with him in the process of the development of this painting. But then by the time the painting was done, Michael had died. Okay, so there was a thing there. So that's what I was saying about the edit, how it gets on there. I was thinking Michael had control, but I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know. There's, like I said, there's trickier things. But what I found out is that I heard the thing about the apple box. Like I said, I had that piece about the apple box that Diana has it, you know? And then I put this video on, and what do you know? The apple box is in this video. He's got the apple box in this video, showing the significance of that apple box that appears in this painting, I mean. Okay, then Michael, when he's telling you where the apple box actually is, where is it? It's at Diana Ross's house. She's got it. Can you see, like, why is this stuff like, it's this weird thing too. It's like I'm doing this other weird thing too. It's like where when you're just living your life and you like recognize that history has happened, okay, you live your life and stuff, okay, but there's this weird development now that like, now that I'm into this Michael Jackson thing, there's this other weird thing going on. That's like, I'm not just living life, okay? I'm actually like aware that I'm like living in history. It's a weird development of things that have occurred. And because of it, I hear things differently. And I'm exposed to things differently. And things like, you know, people like talk about the signs. It's like, oh, the bird at this time, then the bird came across, you know, they're looking for the signs and shit, right? So it's like, I'm not looking for like signs like that. What happens though is I'm just sitting here and constantly like this shit is constantly coming at me. I hear shit, like I said, you're hearing things from the birds singing. I'm hearing shit. I hear things that it's like, weird. It's just weird. And it's like it's this development. It's like the way I would explain to you, it's like I can feel like I'm like living in history. There's this weird thing that has occurred. I don't know. But all I can tell you is I expressed to you that this is happening. And I don't know exactly what's going on and stuff, but I can tell you that it's happening. So now the hooded mullet, no, he didn't. No, this one was, oh yeah, the story of Louisa part, that was sent to me from the MJ fandom exposure guy. He's the one who sent me this part. Okay, so first, okay, so now this is the Billie Jean video. So in the Billie Jean video, there's a lot of stuff. Okay, so I'm going to get to the next part, but, okay, so I was saying in the explanation of the Billie Jean video, I was saying that it looks to mirror the storytelling of the story of The Wizard of Oz, because there's like the path. But this is in a dark world. It's a nightmarish version of the story Wizard of Oz, okay? That's what I'm saying in the Billie Jean. And the Billie Jean, the song Billie Jean is actually about Diana Ross informing Michael Jackson that she was his real mother when Michael's like 10, 11 years old and living in her house, you know, at that time, that same time. That's what the song Billie Jean is actually about. You know, she came and stood right by me, then the smell of sweet perfume. She calls me to her room. This happened much too soon. Billie Jean's not my lover. Like he tells you, she's not my lover. We went to the room. It's not because we're my lover. She's a girl who claims that I'm the one. Diana Ross tells Michael, you're the one. You're my son. You're the love child of me and Smokey Rob. She claims, she's just a girl who claims that I am the one, but the kid is not my son. She tells Michael, she brings him into the room and embraces him. Michael, I'm your real mother. She tells him all this stuff. But she says, but you've got to remain living at Jackson. She's just a girl who claims that I'm the one, but says the kid's not my son. She's doing both things. The duality of the reality, the situation of what Michael Jackson had to deal with that time at that young age. So at that young age, because Diana couldn't, like I said, she's collecting the egg cartons, the egg crate. She's collecting everything. She wants any single thing that's Michael. She's craving it. She had lost him. She'd given him away. Now that she's got him back, think of the way that mother is clinging on to him. She's getting that apple crate. She's getting all of his paintings. She's moving him into his house. She's taking him out and having personal relationship time with him in the museums and doing all of that stuff. That's the real life story of what actually occurred. All that stuff occurred, all documented. So the Billie Jean song, I said, is mirroring the Wizard of Oz and stuff. I was saying there's something here in the Billie Jean that's obviously looks like the Wizard of Oz, but it's a nightmarish version because this is the bad story. It's not the good story. So the MJ fandom exposure showed me this, that the Louisa, the billboard there where Michael's looking right at it, and it says there down at the bottom, it says Louisa, which is a really weird name. Louisa, Louisa. How does that name, it's one of those things, how does that name appear on that billboard? And there's Michael looking right at it, right? So then the MJ fandom exposure showed me this, that there's a book out there called The Story of Louisa, and the author of the book's name is Diana Ross. And it's like the carnival. See, Diana's the author of the whole thing because the story of Louisa is about the horse, and then they go on this journey and then the carnival horse and all this stuff. Okay, well the author of that they go on the world tours. Okay, well the author, that's Diana Ross. The same thing with Michael. She's the one. She's the author of this Jackson's thing she created by putting him in there, and she's in control of all the thing. It's like she's pulling on the strings. She's the author of this stuff. She's the mother of Michael Jackson. She's the one that went to Motown. She creates all this stuff that happens with the, it's very, very similar. But so, then the other part here, okay, so you've got Michael Jackson, and I was saying that the Michael Jackson is definitely about Diana Ross, And like I said, the Louisa is written by Billie Jean, is written by Diana Ross, is the book. But I was saying it parallels the story of The Wizard of Oz, okay? So then the hooded mullet, like yesterday or something, told me, okay, he says, yeah, you know how you were talking about the Billie Jean resembles the Wizard of Oz? And he's like, okay, well, remember, Michael did The Wiz with Diana Ross. And it's like, yeah, see how the Billie Jean video, he's putting the name. He put that Louisa to highlight the Diana Ross. Then he puts it in a context of a land that looks like the Wizard of Oz. And it's like, okay, so now we've got Diana Ross's name directly implanted into the video of Billie Jean. And then you have the essence of the concept for the video of Billie Jean relating around Wizard of Oz. And then when you just go back and look, it's like, oh, well, Michael did the movie The Wiz with Diana Ross. It's like, it's ridiculous. And now, like, and then The Wiz, too, it's like, I'd have to go back and watch it. I've seen it and stuff, but I'd have to actually, it was one of those things, it's like, okay, I've seen it, but I wasn't watching it exactly this way. I'm not thinking about it with the Billie Jean into The Wiz. I'm not thinking about trying to relate it with The Wizard of Oz, okay? But now that is in my mind, I do need to probably, now it's one of those things that where, like I said, this is how I have to find information. Now, I need to go back and watch The Wiz. And I need to watch The Wiz with this kind of mindset about the Billie Jean and relating it to, like, the environment. Because this is like a dirty place, and see, they're stepping through this place and they come out. I'd have to watch it again to see exactly, to explain better. But it's almost like, look at the path there when they get to go to the yellow brick road. Okay, it's dark, though. It's dark. See how it's dark right there? The road's like dark, and then it opens up. It looks like a road, which looks like that road. It does look like that road. That looks like, that's the dark road. And then this is the road here. Like I was saying, the Billie Jean's a nightmare version. This is the movie The Wiz, you know. There's something there. And the other thing is, like, what I say about Michael is that his body frame is so much the similar body frame to Diana Ross. And it's like one of those things, you look right here. Look, doesn't that look like a mother and her child? Like, and look at their bodies. The body of Diana Ross and Michael Jackson is identical. They've got this real thin, it's their whole body. It's their whole personality, the essence, the aura, it's everything about them, the way they sing. I mean, it's even like their teeth. They got the same overbite. When you even look at their teeth, Diana's got this crazy overbite. When you look at Michael on his teeth, he's got that same overbite because they got the same bone structure through their jaw. And it's even in their teeth, which gives that vocal ability the same of Michael and Diana resembling because they've got the same jaw bone structure in their teeth. That helps form the vocals. This is where Michael got his actual vocals. It's from Diana Ross. It's the bone structure, the body essence, and the talent of what Diana Ross has that Michael, that's where he got his talent. And then he gets his genius artistic ability from Smokey Robinson. Smokey Robinson, one of the greatest songwriters of all time, and good soft voice and everything. This is where Michael really gets his talent from. And it's clearly documented and exposed in the actual life story of Michael Jackson. If you look at the actual progression of the whole thing of the Jacksons being created, their journey to Motown, the relationship with Michael and Diana developing, Michael becoming the biggest star, the desire to achieve that level of greatness because of the reality of who he was and how he's trying to get his message out there when he knows he can't tell the truth and he knows the only thing he can do is to become the biggest star so that his music will live forever. And like with the song like Beat It and stuff, and that's why he does that freaking phenomenal performance of the Beat It at the Motown 25, of the Billie Jean, and the Billie Jean is not a Motown song, but that was allowed to happen because I said that's the song. And that performance of the Billie Jean at Motown 25, you look at the shirt that Michael Jackson's wearing, that's the same shirt that he did with Diana Ross on her special when they're singing Rock With You, and then they've dressed identically, and if you look at the shirt that they've got on, that's the exact same shirt that Michael wore on the Motown 25 performance of Billie Jean. These connections are there's too much of it. That's what I'm telling you. I'm getting confused in like the times, the dates, there's so much of it. There is so much of it. And it's like, look, I know I make mistakes and stuff. I don't know it all. But you can clearly see when you do the proper investigation, this stuff links up constantly, consistently. And when you actually look at the real essence of who Diana Ross is, you'll see the real essence of who Michael Jackson is. Like I said, look at their teeth. You'll see they've got the same jawline. They've got the same overbite in their mouth. They've got the same eyes. Diana Ross later in an interview, she's telling you, Michael could be part of my family because we've got the same bone structure. She's constantly saying, there's Michael, that's my child, that's my son, that's my baby. She's in Michael Jackson's will as the guardian to his children. Michael doesn't give guardianship over his children. He gives to Catherine, which that's his mother who raised him and the known mother, so he had to give it to her. But think about he put her in that position. Then the person that he would reference as his second mother, he puts in that position right after Catherine to guard his children and watch over all of his finances. He puts Diana Ross in that position. Diana Ross, a woman who he's supposed to be so mad about, who had broken his heart and married freaking mountain climber Arnie Ness. He married Arnie Ness, and Michael, he's all upset, and he writes the song Dirty Diana. So he did all of that stuff. But then after all of the, so you're saying that they had a relationship, it went bad, she broke his heart, Michael then writes bad songs about her, he kind of separates and starts going live in his own world, becomes a drug addict, but for some reason then he still acknowledges her as that important figure to put her as a guardian over his children. You're telling me the woman that broke his heart, the woman that would have he would have looked at her in reality in that situation. He would have been like, you groomed me all this time and we had all this relationship and then you just throwing me out. You're going to tell me that he's going to honor that woman with the guardianship over his children and all of his finances? He's going to honor that woman in his will? That would never have happened unless there's something that is a connection, that they're so connected that it doesn't matter about whatever happened and what you think happened. They were connected. And that connection was never going to go away. And you can see that that connection was never going to go away because Michael put her in his will in a very important position as a guardian over his children and his finances. That connection was there. It could not be taken away. It was not ever something that was just forgotten about or ignored. No, that was the primary relationship that took place in Michael Jackson's life. There's no doubt about it. The primary relationship that took place in Michael Jackson's life is his relationship with Diana Ross. And does Diana Ross go to Michael Jackson's memorial? No, she doesn't go to Michael Jackson's memorial. And she says, I've got to pause and be silent. This feels right for me. Why would she have to? Think about the words she says. She says, I can't go because I've got to pause and be silent. Be silent? Yeah, if Diana Ross is the real mother, having to go to the memorial of her son that she had abandoned for all this Motown stuff, and that's her child, she might have a hard time going to the memorial and being quiet and having to, yeah, Jacksons, yes, I'm sorry for your loss of your child. That kind of would probably be pretty difficult, right? Everybody going up to the Jacksons, I'm sorry for your loss, Jacksons. I'm sorry you lost your child. Your child was the greatest. And Diana's having to sit there watching that shit, and she's like, that's my fucking child. I've decided to pause and be silent. You understand? She couldn't deal with all that fucking shit. You're gonna tell me Diana Ross couldn't go to Michael Jackson's memorial? Because the reason she says, I gotta pause and be silent. She gotta be silent about something. She can't deal with the reality of that situation. She could have went. She had to go. She had no choice. There was no, she's got Michael Jackson's apple crate that he stood on. She's got all of his paintings. She did a movie with him. She did all this stuff, all the relationship. She's literally listed as a guardian over Michael Jackson's children, and she says, Michael asked me to be in the letter that she wrote at the memorial. Michael asked me to be she says, Michael asked me to be a guardian for his children. And she said, Michael asked me to be there for his children if they ever need me. And she says, and I will be if they ever need me. Something like that. Okay, well, there's Michael Jackson's children having to attend the memorial without their father there. They're having to deal with the media, all this stuff. Like, think about the realities of the pressure of that horrible situation for the children. Don't you think that those children might have needed a little bit of Diana Ross's kind words and her presence? Don't you think Diana Ross's presence would have been important for the children? Don't you think Michael Jackson would have wanted Diana Ross to be there at the memorial to say, kids, hey, look it, Michael has named me as a guardian. I'm going to be here if you guys ever need me. But no, she doesn't go. She doesn't go and nurture the children because her pain is more significant than the children. She doesn't care about the children's pain. Her pain is more significant. Well, what's her pain? Her pain is that that's her kid. There would be no that kind of pain. You're going to tell me that the pain that she had from the friendship of Michael Jackson stopped her from being able to go nurture Michael's children, to be able to give that kind words and caress them, to help them, when Michael specifically asked her to do it in his will? First fucking opportunity for her to do that, what does she do? She doesn't do it because she's thinking about herself, and she tells you because she has to pause and be silent. It's all there. It's constantly there. I can't avoid this shit. There's no way around it. They put this shit in your face over and over and over. This relationship of what is going on is not the relationship of what we thought developed naturally as the Jacksons going to Motown and them having the relationship with Diana, because it's bullshit. It's like Diana didn't discover him that way. It's not like the way Diana discovered the Jacksons. It's not that's not the way, like when they tell the story of how it actually happened. That's not how it happened. So then Diana would not have that connection of saying, I found them. I went. I seen them in a club. I brought them to Motown. I did it. I got them signed. She wouldn't have that. The connection of what that would occur, that would just be something that happened with Motown. It's not that she did it. She wouldn't have that personal connection. But for some reason, she's got this connection. She got this weird connection with the Jacksons. Oh, Jackson, move right into my house. Come on, Michael, I'm going to take you out. We're going to go to the museums. Oh, Michael. Oh, Michael. Oh, look at that little Michael singing on the apple crate. Oh, God, that's so precious. I got to take that apple crate. I'm going to take it home and I'm going to cherish it for my whole world. That wouldn't have happened with the normal story. But my story shows you perfectly why is this stuff happening the way it is. Look at, she abandoned her child. The child came back to her at Motown, and he's got all this fucking talent. That woman would be looking at that child like, oh, I want anything he touched. I want to take that apple fucking crate. I want every little drawing you have. I'm going to have it done at show. And like how Michael clearly, oh, Diana's got that stuff. She keeps all that stuff, of course. It's just blatantly obvious what the real story is. And it's not even, I'm not even making up story. You go look at the songs tell it. And it's like, it's not me doing it. Like I said, once you have the understanding of stuff, you go look at the song Billie Jean. You go look at what it actually is talking about and look at where it was exposed. There's other things to it. It's the performance at Motown 25. It's the video of Billie Jean. All of that stuff constantly keeps telling the same story of what I'm telling and where it relates to, and it all goes back to the reality. Diana Ross got pregnant at 14 by Smokey Robinson, had to abandon her child because it happened right at the time that Motown's being developed with Berry Gordy and Smokey Robinson. She screwed Berry Gordy and Smokey Robinson because right as they're getting ready to develop the company, now Smokey Robinson's got a 14-year-old girl pregnant in the neighborhood. That's going to hinder the development of Motown. That's a problem. And look at the reality. Like I said, my story follows the timeline. Berry Gordy was going to call Motown Records Tammy Records after the song by Debbie Reynolds called Tammy's in Love. That's the song. I mean, you're talking about like as white bread, like American as can be. You're talking about like freaking white bread, mayonnaise eating motherfuckers, you know? That Tammy church going, it's white as white can be, white culture. And so Berry Gordy, when he first is going to name his album, when he's thinking about naming his company, what's the name that he associates what he wants? Tammy. It was going to be called Tammy Records after that song, Tammy's in Love. That's because that was the hit song. And he wanted to appeal to the white people and look all clean and innocent and pure. And he wants to do the Tammy. But he couldn't do the Tammy because it was copy. There was too much stuff around it. So he had to change it and stuff. And then there's a thing Anna there. But then they go to the Tamla. We're still a mile away from Motown. We're a mile away from the cachet of the name, of the grunge, the grunginess, and the city, the culture of what that name Motown encompasses. Motown. Okay? So when Berry Gordy's developing the name for the company, he's not thinking, I want this real. I want it to be like representative of our culture and our environment. He's not thinking that. He's thinking, I want to sell records to white people. I want to be all nice and pretty and white mayonnaise fucking white bread culture and shit, right? And so that's what he's thinking and shit, right? And he's like, Tammy. Okay, no, Anna. Okay, Tamla. But then Smokey gets Diana Ross pregnant. They come up with the plan to abandon the child send the child to the Jacksons, and then Smokey Robinson writes the song Shop Around, and they release the song Shop Around, which is about that event occurring, and the song sells 1 million records and becomes gold. And Barry says, I see it now. The people like the real. They could feel the essence of the real. And he says, that's what we are. He says, that's what we are. We're real. He says, you know what? Let's give them the real environment and the culture of where we're coming from, and let's expose them to this world and this culture of where we're from. And he changes the name to Motown. That's how the name develops. That's how important the Michael Jackson is in the story and the whole creation and development of Motown Records. It's not the Jacksons thing. Michael was right there in the very beginning, the very early moments, so much that I personally think that the abandoning of Michael Jackson influenced the song Shop Around, which is the first million-selling record for Tamla Records, which helps them develop Motown into Motown. That's how important it is. And then because they saw that record sold 1 million, and they knew what it was actually about, it helped them change the name to Motown, because Motown would never be Motown if it was called Tamla. Tamla? Who the fuck cares about Tamla? Tamla? Oh, I listen to Tamla. I'm on the because you talk about like Motown. I listen to the Motown music scene. I listen to Motown. Like that's what you could say. You could say, and you don't like people say I listen to rap or I listen to rock music. I listen to jazz. Okay. With Motown, you said I listen to Motown, the record label. It was different because it was so cool. The Motown. And the reason that name comes and how it has arrived is because of what they had done. And they said, we need to be real. And that's what helps them then when they learned about that. Then later in life, when they're explaining this stuff to Michael, that's how Michael understands about creating the real essence and the real thing and the real life experience. That's why he writes songs like Billie Jean and Beat It, Wanna Be Starting Something, Dirty Diana, writes those songs about Diana and that experience because he's doing the same thing of what he was trained to do, and he saw how it affected the people because Smokey Robinson and Diana told him about what had happened with Shop Around and how Motown developed. Then Michael, that's how he learned to become this great songwriter, to write about those experiences and to pour his heart and his soul into his music. That's how he creates things like Billie Jean. Because he was trained to do that. He learned how to do it. He saw the effects, and that's how they did it. That's what they learned. It's all you can see the proper development of how everything develops. Once you understand that Diana got pregnant at 14, that's in 1957, right before it's Berry Gordy and Smokey Robinson met in August of 1957. 1 year later, Michael Jackson's born. A few months after they meet, which I've got proven, Diana Ross could sleep in Smokey Robinson's house because Diana Ross was best friends with Smokey Robinson's cousin Sharon Burston. Diana would sleep over to her friend Sharon's house, but that's Smokey's house. So Diana was sleeping in Smokey Robinson's house, but she's not just sleeping in his house, she's also proclaiming to be in love with him. She's in love with him. She's telling you, he was my first love. I was really in love with him. Now, she says, I wasn't only in love with him, I was sleeping in his house. And then she says, and then I realized that you could sing and make a record and it would be on the radio. That's the exact time of when she got pregnant. That's what all happened. This is how the whole story, all of it. It's been explained now. It's being explained. Why I don't know how I can't find people. It's like, dude, I can't make this shit up. I didn't put this evidence there. They did this. I didn't put it there. I'm not making shit up. This shit is layered and too connected for it not to be real and to be coincidence. It has to be the way of what I'm telling you the story is, because it's the only reason for which this story and this evidence would actually exist.